Hey guys, welcome back to the Technological channel. Um, I've been doing a lot of work on this machine. I haven't showed you any of that because it would just be a repeat of what I've already showed you. Putting rails on and lining ball screws and all that kind of stuff. I don't think you're going to see any more of that. So I did get the gantry all straightened out and everything, and right now I think I'm getting ready to do the tramming of the spindle, since it is on right there. Can you see that? Yeah, I guess you could see that. Yeah, so I didn't take any videos of any of that stuff, like I said, because most of it was just repeat of what I had done already, and not interesting watching stuff over and over again, like watching repeats on TV. Anyway, what I'm getting ready to do is tram the machine. I've seen a lot of people doing this online on the internet, on YouTube, and I see a few fatal flaws that they incorporate in their process, and I'm going to eliminate that. One of the ways I'm going to do it is I'm going to have a macro to move the indicator around when I'm trying to get the glass level on the table. I did that with ChatGPT. It worked okay, except for ChatGPT is not perfect, as everybody knows, and it left out a crucial line that CNC 12 actually needs for that to work. So basically what it is I start the macro, and it tells me to go to the first point, which is going to be probably the Y. I'm not sure, but I think what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to find the high spot on the table, and I'm going to call that the number one position. So I'm going to search that out. I have a very kind of quirky way of doing this thing. I don't use them fancy tram gauges that everybody goes on Amazon and buys. I think those things are a bunch of crap, to be honest with you. I know that's not a nice thing to say about stuff that people have bought, but they're pretty much, in my opinion, a lot of money, and you don't need to spend a whole lot of money. This is what I got right here. Oh, now you can read the name. You know what it says on it? It's Pittsburgh. You know where Pittsburgh stuff comes from. I think I paid, I don't know, 35 bucks for this thing. It's accurate within a half a thousandth, supposedly, if you can get the number to come up and show. But when you're tramming a machine, you don't need to be that accurate. You really don't, because if the machine is off by, a little tiny bit, the way I'm going to do it, it's going to be off a whole lot less than everybody else's, because the way they tram the machine, and I'm going to talk more about that when I do it tomorrow, probably. But like I said, I see a lot of errors that are being made online on all these videos for tramming a machine, and well, I'll let you in on the biggest one. The biggest one is, if you go to the store and you buy a piece of glass, don't plan on it being perfectly flat. If you know anything about glass, you know that when they make glass these days, they call it float glass. And how does that work? It comes out as hot molten glass, apparently, and it goes over a layer of tin. I don't know how the hell the thing works. Maybe I'll Google it and find out. And maybe there's a video how they do it, but it probably is. But because it's a liquid, and you know the glass is floating on the liquid and moving at the same time, you can imagine that it doesn't come out perfectly flat. It's pretty close, but it's not perfectly flat. And what I see a lot of people doing is they take their indicator and they go to each corner of the glass, and they shim the glass up so that each corner is perfectly zero. And then the next thing that they do is they get that crazy tram gauge out and they put it in the spindle over the center of the piece of glass. And then they spin it in the Y plus negative direction, and they look at the indicators. And if it's off, they have to either shim the bottom of the spindle mount or the top of the spindle mount, one or the other, or somehow move the whole. I wouldn't do that. It would be a pain in the neck to move all that. But usually you just put a shim at the top or at the bottom, depending on which way it's out. So basically what they have done right there is a big mistake. Because like I said, glass is not straight. It's not flat in any way, shape, or form. If you get a piece of glass on your machine, if you're going to do it that way, you better take one of these guys right here and run it over across to where that tram gauge is going to land on the glass to make sure that it is also zero, because it may not be. It could be off 3, 4, even 5 thousandths. I got a piece right over there by the toolbox. It's off by 5 thousandths in the middle. So I could show you that, but you're going to have to take my word for it. I'm not going to go through all the trouble to level that thing out just to show you that it's not flat. Take my word for it. It's not flat, and no glass is. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to take this thing, except for it's going to be a little longer. This little peg here, that's the other end of the router bit that I crashed into something and chipped the edge of it off. So I just got a piece of oak. I drilled a hole in it. I slitted the piece down to the hole, right down to this hole, and then I put this bit in here, and this hole was drilled a size smaller than 1/4 inch, and this is a 1/4 inch bit. So I got that in there. I made sure that I put this in the drill press and drilled the hole straight. I made sure that the thing was flat on the bottom, and this is in here. I mean, it doesn't even matter if it's really straight, but it's in there. It is tight, and you cannot turn it. You can't pull this out of here because I put a screw and a nut on the other side and I tightened it up. So this goes in the spindle. Well, I don't know where my other indicator is, somewhere. I got another indicator to show you, but I don't have it right now. You're probably familiar with this kind of indicator. It's got a tab on the back of it. So what I do is when it's not on here, there's a hole there. And I put a screw in the end of this piece, and I screw the indicator right onto the end of here tight so it doesn't turn. And then I put this whole thing in the spindle and spin it around. And that's my gauge that I use to tram the machine. This is what I use. This is a piece of I think it's a Starrett, but I wouldn't swear to it. It's a magnetic base. You've probably seen these things. And this thing goes in here normally. I just took this part out and I'm using that. It is a Starrett. So I put this, it's a 3/8, stick it right in the collet. And when I'm flattening the glass on the table, I just use this straight into the spindle, and I set the Z height to the high spot wherever I find it, or maybe I won't even do that. It doesn't even matter. But I run my my macro, and say my piece of glass is 10 inches, so I go 4 inches out from center. So I put this point right in the center of the glass, you know, by doing the cross thing, you know how to do all that stuff. I put this right in the center, and then when I run the macro, it says move the indicator to the first stop or the first place, whatever it says. I don't remember what it says exactly. So all I do is move the indicator over to, in this case, it's 4 inches from the center in the Y plus direction, and then you hit cycle start. I have a Centroid Acorn board, so maybe some of you don't know what that is, but the macro is made for that particular type of board. I don't know if it would work on Mach 3 or any of those other things, but they're pretty simple things to write. They're not complicated. You can go on ChatGPT, tell him what kind of machine you got, and explain what you want to do. And basically, I save, when I hit cycle start, when I get this where I want it to be, the first spot, I hit cycle start, it saves those coordinates in the machine. Then it tells me to go to the next one. Then I go to the next one, which is 4 inches. Well, it's 4 inches back towards the negative Y, and then another 4 inches back in the negative Y. So that gives me the two Y positions. So I hit cycle start, and then I move it over back to the center. I move it negative X 4 inches, cycle start, plus 8, because that goes right past the center, and it goes 8 inches away, and I hit cycle start, and then it just sits there, and it says the Z axis will not move, and it doesn't disable it. You can move it manually yourself if you want to, if you have to. And then if you're trying to get your glass flat on the thing, and you're going back and forth from one to the other, you just have to push the number, and the thing immediately goes there. So I think it's going to save me a lot of trouble when I do that. Playing around with my toy. $400 toy. Very nice. If you don't have one, you should think about it. Because you can sit here and go and spin this thing around, and the thing will go all over the place. But yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing soon. I'm not sure exactly when. It might be tomorrow. I have some this is a light fixture. It's not a light fixture yet. It's got nothing in it. It's just a hollow thing. But I have LED strip lights over there. They're daylight bulbs, I think. And I'm going to load them up inside of here. And I'm going to put this on the bottom of the gantry so it's nice and bright under my gantry so I can see. I also have lights up here in the spindle, because I made this little collar to go on the bottom of the spindle, so I could put lights in there so I could see the bit. Because there's nothing worse than not being able to see the bit when you're trying to zero it out. But I don't do that anymore. But it's still nice to have a light. So anyways, that's what's coming up soon. I know you haven't heard anything out of me for a little while. I tried to do a video for tramming the machine, and it turned into a 4-hour deal. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something different than that. And that's when I decided I was going to do the macro, and you know, you're going to see it happen soon. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know. I got a few more wiring jobs to do. So, almost ready to go. All right. I'm going to take off. I'm going to go in the house, and I'm probably going to have a little añejo tequila for a refresher, because I've been out here all day, and it's 9:30 now. And it's time for me to go in and relax a little bit before I go to bed and get up and do this all over again tomorrow. So, bye.